Thank you very much, Randy. Thank everyone for being with us on behalf of myself and Pratt. The knowledge that we are providing with, um, and by providing them with this knowledge, we are empowering them to make educated decisions in their future. So I would like to begin today by giving you an overview of the major differences between applying to an art and design school and a normal liberal arts college. Art and design schools are considered specialized schools, dedicated to an intensive arts education that includes studio-based education as opposed to classroom-based education. Classrooms are small, typically 15 student maximum, and students work extremely closely with their faculty. The range of majors in art and design schools such as Pratt can extend beyond the art and design disciplines and include majors such as architecture, writing, film, and construction management, as well as others. To find a list of schools that offer art and design-based majors, we recommend that guidance counselors and teachers refer students to the website acad.org. This is a fabulous resource and lists all the different majors and the schools that offer them. Pratt specifically is the second largest of the 43 independent art and design schools in the United States. Pratt offers more than 25 undergraduate majors and concentrates in art and design, architecture, and writing. We also offer 12 minors. The difference between art and design schools and regular colleges and universities is that colleges and universities, students typically choose their major later on and start in their major as juniors. At art and design schools, they start their studies in the first year. Also, art and design schools tend to attract students who know from an early age what they want to do and have often taken classes and developed their skills before they apply to art school. In addition to extensive study and studio programs, the independent art schools also provide a third of the total credits in the liberal arts. On the undergraduate level, art and design and architecture schools offer Bachelors of Fine Arts, BFA degrees, as well as others, including Bachelors of Architecture, Bachelors of Industrial Design, and Bachelor of Arts. The major difference when applying to an art and design school is the requirement of submitting a visual portfolio. The best way to help students prepare and develop their portfolio is as follows. Have them meet with their art teachers. This is a dialogue that we hope would be started possibly as early as elementary school, but if not, certainly as soon as a student has entered high school, if they have any interest in studying art and design in the future, they want to reach out to their art teachers as soon as possible. Have them start the process early. This does not just mean creating the dialogue with their teacher, but also researching specialty schools and looking into the industry themselves and finding out about professional practice. Have them meet with local art colleges and or community colleges if the art school is not within traveling distance to them. This is beneficial because oftentimes these schools will offer supplemental art courses that may not be offered at the high school level. Most commonly, art schools will require 15 to 20 works of art. They can be either 2D or 3D works. This also includes motion graphics, film, animation, etc. 3 to 5 images should include observational drawing. The artist should show a range of materials, skills, and approaches. Here we have some examples of the observational process. The observational process refers to translating something that exists in physical space in a two-dimensional form. Some interpretations of figure drawing. various interpretations of a still life, a variety of methods of making, in sculpture, mixed media, work in a series. It is important to note that students are not required to submit major-specific work. They are certainly eligible to do so if they wish, but they're required to. The student as the maker is the single most important component of the portfolio. The student should ensure that at least half of their portfolio consists of personal work, work that reflects them as a thinker and as a maker. Virtually all art schools, including Pratt, require applicants to submit work on the web platform known as SlideRoom. For Pratt, the link to SlideRoom is on our website. Most art and design schools offer weekend and summer programs for high school students in art and design, writing, and architecture. These programs are a great way to see if art school is the right choice, as well as to help the students prepare their portfolios. The best for students the kind of portfolio different art schools are looking for is National Portfolio Day. National Portfolio Days are regional. They're offered all over the United States. If it is not feasible for the student to attend a National Portfolio Day, they should reach out directly to the different art schools they have interest in. Other than the portfolio, the rest of the application requirements are similar to those of schools from all over the country. It is important to note that most art and design schools have their own application. Pratt, like the majority of art and design schools, do not accept common applications. Start the application process early to ensure that you have time to complete the application of the schools you wish to apply to. Applicants must submit transcripts from all high schools attended, a portfolio, SAT and or ACT score, a TOEFL, IELTS, or PTE. A letter of recommendation is also a requirement. Each school has their own deadline. However, if a school has a deadline, those deadlines fall between January 5th for regular decision, November 1st for early action, which is non-binding, October 1st for spring admissions. All materials are due by the deadline. Who are we? We're Pratt. Pratt Institute is ranked among the top art and design schools by Business Week, among the top 1% of schools for visual arts and design, and among the top 5% for architecture and fine arts by college faculty. Pratt offers top-ranked majors in every area of art and design and architecture. An ideal campus location, a distinguished faculty, and leadership opportunities, choice for aspiring artists and architects, as well as writers. Pratt is made up of a diverse global community, attracting highly motivated, talented students from backgrounds. Campus is home to more than 4,700 students. Roughly 34% of Pratt students are international, representing over 80 different countries in all 50 states. 44% of Pratt's student body are from underrepresented groups. Pratt is committed to increasing its programs through an endowed scholarship program and continuing fundraising efforts. Pratt's Vice President for Equity and Inclusion works to ensure a continuing focus on increasing, attracting, and enrolling a diverse group of students. Ranked among the top art and design schools by Business Week, Pratt is ranked #1 in pay scale among the art schools in the United States and ranked #1 by webdesigncenter.org. Most of Pratt's programs are ranked among the top 5 or 10 in the country. Many of our programs are ranked #1. The programs that we offer at Pratt are broken down into 4 schools and 2 types of programs. Within the School of Architecture, we offer a 5-year professional degree in architecture. We offer a degree in construction management. The School of Art and Design, we offer degrees in art and design education, communications design, graphic design, illustration, 2D animation, digital animation, interactive arts, drawing, painting, printmaking, sculpture, and jewelry design. We also offer degrees in fashion design, film, industrial design, interior design, and photography. Within the School of Liberal Arts and Sciences, we offer degrees in critical and visual studies, history of art and design, and writing. We also offer 2 different associate's tracks. We offer an Associates of Applied Science in painting and drawing, and graphic design and illustration. These are a transferable track. We also offer associate's degrees, which are a professional track or AOS program in graphic design, illustration, and game design and interactive media. Again, here's a quick survey of our rankings. Our architecture program is ranked #1. Our industrial design program and interior design program are ranked #2. Our fine arts program is ranked #6 in the country. Okay, Pratt Associates programs take place at our Manhattan campus, which is located in the Union Square neighborhood on 14th Street. Again, I want to reiterate that we offer the AAS track, which is a transferable track. This is for students who may not have met the academic requirements, but are still interested in going to Pratt and attaining their 4-year degree. Those offerings are limited to graphic design, illustration, painting, and drawing. Our associate or non-transferable track, also what would be known as a professional track, we offer our programs in graphic design, illustration, game design, and interactive media. We also offer a multitude of degrees in construction management, and these are all at the Manhattan location. Pratt's Extension Campus, which is known as Pratt Munson William Proctor, is a fabulous option for students that may not be ready for the distractions of the city of New York, or students that are looking for a slightly cheaper option to begin their education. Pratt Munson William Proctor offers Pratt's curriculum and Pratt's faculty. The programs that we offer at Munson William Proctor are communications design, which includes graphic design and illustration, fine arts, photography, and art and design education. Pratt is in the process of becoming an NCAA Division III member. And we offer a number of sports at Pratt. We offer women's volleyball, men's tennis, women's tennis, track, cross country, men's basketball, and women's. Anyone that is interested in competing on any of these teams, we encourage them to reach out directly to Pratt Athletics or to the admissions office, and we can direct them towards the athletic department. Student involvement. Pratt is extremely active in the surrounding community, in the community service, government, a number of cultural groups, student media groups, religious groups, mentors. One of the things that separates art and design schools from other colleges, and Pratt specifically, is our professional faculty. Our staff of artists, designers, and architects are all working in the field. Our students are getting the most education possible in terms of technology, in terms of professional practice, and also in terms of establishing connections within their field. This is paramount to them building professional connections as well as developing internship experience and job experience. Our students work extremely closely with our faculty, and Pratt boasts a 9-to-1 student-to-teacher ratio. We have over 1,040 faculty members that are all working professionals at Pratt. Pratt participates in the Higher Education Opportunities Program. Pratt's involvement in HEOP goes back to the founding of HEOP. It is of particular import that students that are interested in this program realize they must meet the following criteria. They must be a New York State resident, and they must be a U.S. citizen or permanent resident green card holder who meets the academic and financial requirements set forth by the HEOP program app. For the last 4 years, Pratt has been engaged in providing access to first-generation students, students of color and low-income students, as part of its diversity and strategic plan. In order to further these goals, Pratt has developed additional resources and funding to make it possible for the students to enroll, be successful, and graduate on time. The HEOP program, for example, has a 90% retention rate. Pratt strives to do everything in its power to ensure its students' success. Pratt provides tutoring through its Learning Access Center to all assistants. Over 400 students take advantage of these services yearly. The center works with students with disabilities to provide the necessary accommodations for their success. Pratt's writing and tutorial offers tutoring in writing, speaking, math, science, and all current Pratt students. The Center for Equity and Inclusion offers Community Dialogue Series, Social Justice and Advocacy Week, affinity groups, interdisciplinary groups, Lavender Celebration, Student Diversity Council, and Diversity Advocacy. Pratt Center for Career and Professional Development hosts over 120 professional development programs and 10 recruitment events throughout the year. Our most recent survey shows that 95% of undergraduate students were employed within 1 year of graduation. Pratt is ranked at #1 among pay scale as the best schools for art and design. Funding in art and design education. It is important to note that funding your education is one of the most important decisions and factors that students will face when deciding where to go to school. 78% of Pratt students receive some sort of federal, state, and/or institutional funds. Funding is comprised of grants, loans, work study, scholarship, and tuition management programs. Most awards are based on financial needs and academic ability. All accepted students are automatically considered for merit-based scholarships, ranging in amount from up to half tuition. No separate application is required. First-generation students are considered for endowed scholarships as well as their regular financial aid packages. To receive federal financial aid, U.S. citizens and residents should fill out FAFSA. We encourage students filling out their FAFSAs November 1st. We do this as a way to safe check the FAFSA because oftentimes students will make mistakes, and the earlier they fill out the FAFSA, the more time they have to correct these mistakes. Some of these mistakes can impact the funds that they're eligible for dramatically. So we provide with time to fix anything if there is a mistake. At this time, I would like to thank all of you for participating with us and being here with us today. And I would like to introduce you to Dustin Liebenau, who is the Assistant Director of Admissions, and he is going to participate with me with the question and answer period of this presentation.
All right. I am going to just interrupt and say, counselors, this is your time for the Q&A session. So any burning questions that you may have, please take the time out to jot down those questions. And thank you, Mike, and thank you, Dustin, for joining us for the Q&A. So the first question is regarding supporting first-generation and underrepresented or first-generation low-income students through this process. One of the counselors asked a question of, can you provide an example of prospective students in the previous years of how they were able to kind of go through this process without having to spend a fortune on the portfolio process?
Okay, sure. You know, and that's a very important question because not every high school student has the ability to go out and pay for supplemental art courses and things like that. So I would say that the most economical approach to the portfolio is drawing. You know, that's the one thing that most high school art programs can provide materials for, and it's the most affordable medium for students to work in. So if a student is aggressive and diligent about drawing and practicing their drawing, going out and observing the community and their surroundings through drawing, they actually can do a lot to develop their portfolio on their own. And then if they can bring that work in and get some guidance on any type of an academic level, whether it be their art teacher or whether it be, you know, just someone who, you know, is more skilled in art and design than they are, they can actually make a lot of independent headway. But we don't need students to submit things like oil paintings or sculptures or things like that. You know, we do encourage them to try to meet with a local art college, even if it's a community college that has a strong art program, just to get some feedback, because that criticism is important, especially if they're not getting that criticism within their high school. But other than that, in terms of investing a lot financially into the development portfolio, that's absolutely not necessary.
Thank you. And I have a couple of questions regarding supporting students who are coming from, who identify as undocumented. How have you all supported DACA and non-DACA students?
Well, DACA students are eligible for state funding. So whatever funding the state is going to grant them, that's what they're eligible for. They're also eligible for whatever scholarship they are awarded by the Institute. DACA students, unfortunately, however, are not eligible for federal financial aid. They're only eligible for state aid and scholarships.
Thank you. Thank you. I will also add College Greenlight. We do have scholarships for undocumented students that we're going to be releasing pretty soon. So we will be sending that scholarship list out to our counselor community very soon, just to kind of notify you guys to keep your eyes open for future emails. All right. I have another question. Is many of the counselors understand that Pratt is located on the northeast. Many of them wanted to have students coming from all parts of the nation. They wanted to ask, how do you all support students outside who are living outside of the New York area?
How do we support students that are living outside the New York area in terms of recruitment or in terms of...
I believe in terms of student support and groups that are on the campus.
Okay, in terms of students where they might be coming to New York for the first time in living here.
Yeah.
I mean, well, you know, Pratt is almost 34% international, so we have a very large student body that is not representative of New York City proper or the state itself. So we are a campus. So in a sense, we're our own little community. So we do a great job of keeping track of what's happening. You know, not only are our staff and faculty very familiar with our students, any student that might be having an adjustment issue in terms of, you know, being in the city, being homesick, being in a totally different, being immersed in different cultures and things like that. All the support systems are at their fingertips. And we're very, I don't want to use the term aggressive, but we're very aware of how to sort of help the students navigate whatever help or support they might need. And, you know, that doesn't just extend to the sort of adjustment of being in college, being in a different atmosphere. That's also an academic thing too. So if the student is struggling academically or there's an emotional element that is affecting their academics, we're going to provide them help in whatever areas they need that help in.
Thank you. Another question for a little bit more clarity regarding portfolio requirements for students considering to apply for the architecture program. They wanted to know, you know, is it still required to submit a portfolio if they are also HEOP eligible?
Yes. If you are HEOP eligible, it is mandatory that you submit a portfolio if you want to, especially if you want to apply for architecture.
Okay, perfect. And I have a fun question from Olivia. She asked, how would I explain or tell parents how his son or daughter will make a living with an art degree after college?
Hi, everyone. My name's Dustin. As I mentioned, I'm the AVP for enrollment here at Pratt. And I just wanted to chime in for this question because it's a really, really great question. So I talk with parents all the time who are kind of concerned about, you know, life after an art design or architecture education. And one thing to think about is art, design, and architecture is everywhere. For instance, industrial designers have worked on building our cars. They've worked on designing our furniture. Architects are designing the buildings that we're working in and living in. We have photographers who are taking the photographs that are used in commercials that are created by advertisers or graphic designers. So art is everywhere. It's very, very relevant. And I think sometimes it's not so obvious, but it is all around us. 95% of our students are employed within 1 year of graduation. And that speaks not only to the quality of the work here at Pratt, but the desirability of these students out in the job field.
Thank you so much, Dustin. We have some really good questions coming in. We have another fun question for the group. Can you describe a success story of a current low-income or first generation student who you've come across that attends Pratt in the design architectural program?
Specifically in architecture?
Yes, or design, visual arts.
Oh, okay, yeah, sure. I mean, we have a lot of those types of success stories here. I'll give you one example. Ronald Wimberly. You might want to refer him to students and take a look at, because his journey is public. The nature of what he's done and his work is public. He started off at Pratt and began building his way up, working for different comic book companies such as Marvel, DC, Image Comics. Did a lot in the animation field, worked with a very established animation firm known as Titmouse. They developed cartoons like Black Dynamite and Afro Samurai. But he's working right now with Legendary Films. And one of his options just got bought up for one of the comics that he did, and they're going to start filming in February. So, this is somebody who came from inner city DC, first person in his family ever to go to college. Was definitely struggling, and had an excellent portfolio. Took his work very seriously. Got a substantial scholarship to come to Pratt, and has been very successful ever since. Another example would be somebody like Bernard Chang, who came to Pratt and studied architecture. And believe it or not, what he learned in architecture, he then was able to apply to animation in the video game industry, and was one of the first people to bring the 3D technology into animation and into movies, and was on the forefront of developing what we know as 3D special effects. He was actually hired before he graduated, and then came back after working for Disney for 3 or 4 years, and then graduated with his architecture degree. And Bernard's super cool. He's all over the internet. You can definitely refer him to students. And he grew up in a poor immigrant family in Los Angeles.
That's a wonderful story. Thank you so much for sharing that. I have a question from Nancy. She would like to kind of go into your mind and learn a little bit more about what the process is like for the portfolio evaluation. So she wanted to just kind of get a glance of what the deliberation process actually looks like. If you guys can provide some key insights that will help them better support.
I think it's important to note that the portfolio is really, it's an audition. So there's a spectrum of of ability that we're going to expect students to have, understanding basic principles of drawing, composition, design. That's fundamental. So we're obviously going to look for indicators that illustrate these abilities. But then we're going to look for things like ideas, ambition, and clarity of how these ideas are being expressed, and the sophistication of these ideas. Those things are very important to us. We do want to get a really strong sense of what the applicant is looking to do, what they want to get better at, what they're trying to do. Yes, being able to draw helps immensely, but we can teach them how to do that. We are also looking for a strong sense of what it is that they're about and what it is that they're trying to convey. But I would also stress that because it is an audition, if you show up and like you don't, a comparison would be if you don't know how to play a scale on your instrument, then it's going to be very difficult. You do have to have some type of familiarity with the language of art and design.
Thank you. Okay, so another question regarding fly-in programs. Do you all have any student or counselor fly-in programs? And if not, are you guys having conversations on starting one? And do you have any suggestions on how students who live outside of the New York area, how they can explore the Pratt experience at little cost?
Yeah, it's Dustin here again. So we currently don't have any fly-in programs for counselors or students. However, we are looking into creating a fly-in program for some of our accepted students to be able to join us at Accepted Students Day. It's certainly an ongoing conversation and also something that we've noted in our diversity strategic plan. Students that aren't able to readily get to campus, we actually recommend that they check out some of the national portfolio days. They're offered in the majority of the states, and it's a great opportunity to meet with many art and design schools all in one location. As Mike, I think mentioned during the presentation, the art and design schools are all what we call ACAD schools, so that they're part of the Association of Independent Colleges of Art and Design. And those national portfolio days are a great way to get feedback on their work and learn about, some of the different offerings that each of the art and design schools have.
And a follow-up question, where can we find or learn more information about the National Portfolio Days specific to our area?
You can just go to, you can Google National Portfolio Day, or I believe their URL is portfolioday.net. We also have it listed on our website at pratt.edu.
Yeah, any off-campus event that we're going to do, whether it be a National Portfolio Day or info type session, is all on our website.
All right. Thank you so much, team. We're going to actually wrap up our Q&A session so that our counselors can go and continue to advise our students. Before we transition, do you guys have any additional things to add?
No, we're all set. Thank you so much to everyone.
All right. A round of applause to the Pratt team. Thank you all so much for joining us. I also wanted to just make our counselor audience aware that we will be hosting an upcoming webinar regarding FAFSA. We're going to have an extensive Q&A session with the U.S. Department of Ed next Wednesday, October 17th at 2 p.m. Central Time. And we will be registering counselors for the webinar at the following link, cgl.fyi/FAFSA. And if you're not able to make the date and time, continue to register. We're going to send you all the recording and the slides to review at your convenience. Again, if you are interested in learning more about the College Greenlight community, please type "I'm interested." Even if you are interested in a team training, you can go ahead and type "I'm interested" or send us over an email at info@collegegreenlight.com. I want to close out by saying, this work is so important, and our job here at Greenlight is to help narrow that information gap that so many of our students and their families experience, and most importantly, us as college access advocates. So we really do appreciate the Pratt team taking the time out to teach us a little bit more about the insights on the portfolio process and the Pratt Institute and how you all support first-gen, low-income, underrepresented students. And most importantly, also our counselor community. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for inviting College Greenlight into your practice. And until next time, hopefully we will be able to virtually see you all at our next webinar, October 17th at 2 p.m. We will be sending over a recording and the slides of the Pratt webinar immediately following. So thank you, Dustin. Thank you, Michael, and Pratt team for this opportunity.